Greetings. My name is Carlo Dawson, and I would like to welcome each of you here today and to thank you personally for volunteering at the POP Powerful Youth Leadership Summer Camp that will be held on June 24th through the 27th. I would like to just let you know a little bit about POP or Power of Progeny before we get started so that you know. So, our mission is we are an organization that encourages individuals to embrace our diverse world and transform the world through the power of story and the power of progeny. Progeny means your birthright. And so we do that by helping you to realize or individuals to realize that they have a unique sense of personal identity, perspectives, background, and self. So our vision is really to foster, inspire, and empower individuals to celebrate our diversity. And we do that through varied perspectives, through knowledge, through confronting bias, really so we can have a more inclusive and equitable world. If you look at some of these images, these are young people who were part of Progeny for the last 20 years. They were individuals who been a part of this organization. So we became a nonprofit in 2020. However, this is an organization that I have had the pleasure to really foster um, all of this wonderful talent um, within young people for over 20 years. All right. And our motto is embracing the power of community, the power of diversity, the power of equity, the power of inclusion, celebrating the power of progeny in you. So, just to kind of talk about a few things here, I want to just talk about your role within the camp. Again, we are delighted to have you be a part of the camp. Again, we cannot thank you enough for really volunteering your time, volunteering your talents, your commitment. And so there are a few things that I just really want to go over with you. If you have not had the opportunity to complete the form, which is the volunteer form, we would love for you to do that. And so I would like to give you some of that information that will be coming in your email again if you haven't had the chance to do that. So I want to make sure that you get a chance to see that as well. Last year, we had our first camp in Darlington. It was a huge success. And this year, we will have it again on next week. All right. So if you look, this is the volunteer form. If you haven't had the opportunity to actually complete it, this is our camp policy. And we just want to go over it again with you. Please remember, you all are so important because you get to create the tone of the camp. This is your chance to really create opportunities for students and young people to laugh and be silly and really to support their social emotional growth. And really, one of the biggest things is we have to ensure safety, right? Safety at all levels. So we want to make sure that we're doing that and creating connections and transformation. So our organization POP, um, you had a chance to learn about who we are, but I wanted you all to just have the opportunity to see about some more things dealing with the camp. Um, the organization will have the camp, and it will be Monday through Thursday. Now, the camp hours for our campers are from 9 to 3. However, volunteer hours are from 8 to 4. So you could volunteer for the entire day, or if you'd like, you could volunteer for half day, and half day would be 8 to 12 for the first half and 12 to 4 for the second half. Of course, that 8 o'clock time frame allows us the time to set up before our campers come, and the 4 o'clock time allows us that time in there to clean up and make sure things are ready for the next day. Breakfast is held from 8:30 to 9 a.m. And breakfast is actually supplied by the free breakfast and lunch donation that we received there through the city. And then like I said, the day for campers ends at 3, but all campers must be picked up by 3:30. Now, I do tell you that we will have some campers who will be delivered back home. And so we provide those services with our camp. All right, so the PIC, or the person in charge, in most instances will be the executive director, Carla Dawson, myself, and also the site directors, Carla and Margie Goodson. If neither one of those individuals are available, we will have someone else who will be appointed for that. But in case of emergency, please make sure to report to those individuals. All right, cell phones. We ask that you keep your cell phone use to a minimum around the youth, of course, that's so you can keep eyes on them. Of course, we know that you all will have your phones for emergencies, but just want to make sure we're keeping our eyes on the youth. Our desire is that young folks do not have their phones until we give the specified times that they can. All right, so some of our policies that we have, the child protection policy is number one, the rule of 3. An adult must always be in sight of at least, must always be in the sight of at least one other adult. And of course, that helps so that we know we want to make sure children are safe. So we don't want one adult going off with all the kids. We always want to make sure there are at least 2 adults, and want to make sure that we have that rule of 3. Sexual behavior, language, or harassment of any kind in a relationship is not tolerated at all. At all. All right. This should be a safe space. If you see anything, any signs of abuse, please report it to myself, executive director, or the site directors. All suspected incidents are to be taken very seriously, and they should be reported. This is a no nonsense site for any kind of abuse, whether it be sexual behavior, language, or harassment. Remember, South Carolina is a mandatory reporter state. That means all adults who work with children are mandated to report abuse if you've seen it or if it's been suspected. So please make sure you report to the executive director or site directors. Remember, there should not be sexually inappropriate language, behavior, developmental behavior, bruising, moody behavior, sudden drastic changes of behavior. If you suspect any of that, please report that to us. And then also remember, just be there. Be sure to reassure any child if you see any of that behavior, letting them know that we are there for them and it's brave for them to come to us. And do not promise that you'll keep any secrets. Let them know that first safety is a priority. So if any young person, any camper comes to you with any concern, we must take it seriously. All right. With social media, do not post photos of youth of any form without permission. We have actually in our form asked that parents and guardians and families, if they choose to not have photos or videos taken, they filled out that information. That information will be on site. Currently, we do not have any who have objected to that, but we will definitely keep you aware if any one has actually opted out to not be on social media. Staff sexual misconduct and policy. Remember, we want to make sure that we're also respecting each other as adults. So remember, no sexual behavior, language, or harassment of any kind is tolerated. Also, making sure that we do not post videos or photography of each other without consent. So, our philosophy is that we want to maintain a space that is open for every person's philosophy as long as it's respectful. And if you don't know the answer to something, say, I don't know. I'll try to find out. All right. So, as volunteers, we believe that that you should be respected. But also respect the investment of Power Progeny. Therefore, be on time for all camp activities. Make sure you stay until the allotted time. If there's an issue of concern, please let us know. But also know that you are representing POP, you're representing Power Progeny. And so we want to make sure we're presenting a positive image to our community and our constituents. All right. So again, we just want to let you know that we appreciate your time and really your talent and your willingness to serve. And so that is on behalf of the entire Power of Progeny board, our chairperson, our vice chair, executive director, and again, the entire board. So once you fill that out, you'll see that once you've read through that, make sure that you fill out all of the information. There are various questions that you need to fill out here. And then also, please make sure you select all of the camp areas that you feel that you would like to volunteer in. You'll notice that we have the camp instructor, assistant, registration, photography and videography, kitchen area, and monitoring campers. We also ask other questions that are very important for camp. And then once you have completed the form and you've read everything and you understand the terms, and the conditions to be a volunteer, and that you will adhere to that, please print your full name as a formal signature. This is highly important that you do that so that we can make sure that you understand everything that comes with being a volunteer. We do expect that you have a great time as a volunteer, but we know that it is of the utmost importance that we are making sure that we are taking care of our campers. So I wanted to go through all of that with you just to make sure, again, it's reiterated. All right. So again, I wanted to be more specific, provide more specificity for the volunteer camp role descriptions. So if you look here, we have the daily check-in and check-out. It tells you specifically that what you would do if you volunteer for that role. We will also need volunteers in first aid and nurses station. And of course, that is as needed, but we do need some volunteers there to help with distributing of medication. We want to make sure we keep our campers physically safe as well. All right, if we look in the kitchen area, we know that it is highly important that we have our campers happy and fed, right? So we want to make sure that we're preparing meals, taking inventory, being clean. And then next we have our videographer, as you can see here. In the day of social media, we definitely need photography and videography. So if you have that special skill, please read what all that incurs. All right. And then the camp counselor, instructor, of course, you will have a guided lesson that you will use with the campers. And so the age range will be from 8 to 13 in one area, and then we'll have 14 to 16, and our junior camp counselors will be in the other room. And so it's important that we have instructors, and as you can see, classroom assistants. So if you have a special gift for that area, please sign up there. And then, of course, we have our camp counselors who may not be in the classroom, but they are great with overseeing a group of campers with equipment. And then, of course, we have our junior camp counselors. Now, junior camp counselors are actually our individuals who are 16 to 18. We had a few junior camp counselors who volunteered, and so they will be helping as well. All right. And then, of course, we have finally, last but not least, transportation and making sure our campers get to and from campsite as well as anywhere else we would need them to be transported. All right. So please make sure you read everything carefully to see where you would like to volunteer. All right, so we want to go and I just want to give you the rundown of how things will be for in general as far as the schedule for the camp itself. As you know, the camp will be Monday through Friday. And so let's look at the week calendar of events for the camp. All right. As we look here, we will see that we have the flyer that was distributed. But let's talk about Monday. So Monday, the theme is building your team around you and what can I do? Community engagement by you. So this is a youth powerful leadership camp. So a powerful leadership. How can we be a powerful leader? So each day, as I said, breakfast will be from 8:30 to 8:55, and then lunch will be about 12:30 to 1 or 12 to 1 each day. All right. As you can see, each day we'll start off with a warm-up chant and activity. Monday will be all about get to know and really getting to know the campsite, getting to know the camp rules, getting to know each other. And really, we have a social justice project that our campers will be introduced uh, to on the first day. And they will have a speaker, Fireman James Jett, who will be there that day. He will also have a camp. At the camp, he'll also have a fire truck and some other cool things as well. And there'll be a lot of cool activities that day. Tuesday, the theme will be meeting the inner you, fostering the leader in you, and mentorship, entrepreneurship. At 11 o'clock, we will have, I apologize, on Monday, we will have Brantley Jett, who will be there. And on Tuesday, we will have Fireman James Jett. Also on Tuesday, we will have Eddie Gaddison and Jerome Graham, and they will be there doing a fun leadership activity that will get young folks engaged. Okay. Wednesday, we actually have the power of relationships. Wednesday will be a field trip to Cheraw State Park. Each camper will have a life vest. Through donation, we've had where life vests have um, been rented for each camper. We will have breakfast at the campsite in Darlington, South Carolina first till about 9:15. And then at 9:15, we will leave. It takes about 30 minutes to get to Cheraw State Park. We will get to Cheraw State Park at about 10:15. We will have a nature walk. And then after that, we will explore the park site. There will be fishing, paddle boats, as well as swimming. All right. And then we will return back to the campsite. And then our final day is lights, camera, action, shining a light on you. On this day, we will have a reflective camp activity, the presentation of our social justice projects before local city officials. And after that, we will have a wonderful lunch. We'll have uh, a petting zoo and a huge celebration on that last day. And that will conclude our camp. Each camper will receive a certificate at the end. Our junior counselors will receive certificates, and we will have a wonderful, wonderful time. If you have any questions throughout this time as a volunteer, please do not hesitate to contact any of the individuals that we share. You can contact Carlo Dawson at powerprogeny@gmail.com or calling Margie Goodson as well at that particular email. Again, if you know of anyone who would like to volunteer, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at that same email. You may also call if you have questions, and all the information is on our website, which is powerofprogeny.com. Again, we are elated to have you be a part of our camp. We thank you again for being a volunteer, and we look forward to seeing you on next week. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day, and we wish you the best time ever. And as we always say, we are powerful.